see the color running through your veins, and I can't breathe when everything you do is pain. Oh, I can't see the color running through your veins, and I can't breathe when everything you do is pain. Love me. Stop the time, 'cause I wanna freeze this moment, make it mine, hold you close, now my heart's wide open, when I'm with you suddenly I feel no pain, do you make it go away, do you make it? Stop the time, 'cause I wanna freeze this moment, make it mine, hold you close, now my heart's wide open, when I'm with you suddenly I feel no pain, do you make it go away, do you make it? Do you make it go away, do you make it? Do you make it go away, do you make it? Do you make it go away, do you make it go away?
Opportunistic, still rubbing panels as they go together. It's folded the wing mirror in on Gerardo's car.
Misano is such a difficult circuit for these guys to get right. There's a lot of start-stop sections around the back. It's a very, very quick section as well.
It's a fantastic start from the 23. They're 4 wide there by the look of it. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Chaz Draycott Media, and welcome to a brand new series here on the channel, the NEVO European Porsche Cup Series. I'm so excited to get this championship underway. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful series. We have 6 rounds coming your way this season, and it is going to be plenty of fun. We've got a number of different circuits that we're going to be visiting this season, all of which in mainland Europe, and it's a really, really strong calendar as well. We start here at Circuit Zolder. Very narrow, very twisty circuit, big curbs in the chicanes, a real challenge for drivers. And next time round we go to the Nürburgring combined layout, the Gesamtstrecke 24-hour layout at the Nürburgring. It's going to be an amazing challenge there as well. Barber Motorsports Park, though, is the... Oh, apologies. Guess what Chaz is doing? He's reading the wrong rule book. Well, it started out well, hasn't it? Start as you mean to continue. I was thinking, flipping heck, I read it before and it didn't say Alton Park. We're at Zandvoort for round 2. Then it's Hockenheim, Monza, Nürburgring, the Blancpain Endurance Series or World Endurance Championship layout. And then we finish it up at Spa. Hope you're all having a fantastic evening so far, though. Hope you're all enjoying yourselves. Welcome once again to Chaz Draycott Media and this phenomenally fun championship. It's great to be a part of it. I'm very grateful to Bart and all the guys who have made sure that I can be a part of all of this. It's great to be broadcasting it again, and it's wonderful, I must say, to be broadcasting these Porsche 911 992 Cup cars. They are so pretty, are they not? Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous machines. They make a hell of a noise as well. And it's great to see a number of my wonderful friends out there on track as well. I've made a lot of friends in the sim racing community, and it makes it all even better when I get to commentate on them. This is Ronald Moons. I've not seen Ronald racing for a while. He's racing for Berserk Racing. Currently in 14th position. Matthew Sufi back out on track. He actually subscribed to the channel very recently, so thank you, Matthew. We have the reigning champion back with us, Lewis Ward. Privateer for this season is Lewis. Can't wait to see what he's got up his sleeve. I've got some good mates over at Altitude Esports that are racing in this. Mark Fletcher. Saw him just on the weekend at Donington Park for the Sports 2000 Championships. And his friend Callum Reed-Garton as well. Callum's a great guy. We had a really good laugh there as well. And it's nice to see Tom Dadswell back out there too. He's very quick, is Tom, especially in GT cars. Again, really excited to see what we can do. We've got so many names that I'm familiar with. Bart Daleman's out here in the SimStickers Mamba car. Looks like they've got no livery for that yet. We've got Hendrik de Grave, Loic Lamol. Good to see Loic out there. Another driver that subscribed recently, so thank you, Loic. We've got Senna Lansens, Senna Hulsmans. And a name that I've been meaning to learn to pronounce for a while. I believe it's Eystein Herfjord. He's just coming to the end of his lap at the moment because the O with a strike through it is a sort of A sound as far as I know. It's like our good friend Hasse Raymer. Looks like Hasse Roma, but it's Hasse Raymer. Look how close the times are. I mean, Fletcher and Hulsman's identical times at the moment during this 20-minute qualifying session. Just love watching these things circulate around a track as narrow as this. Yeah, we need Porsche Sport in the chat. Someone get him in. Billy Fletcher is racing for Altitude Esports as well. Hakon Grebstad. Now, he's a driver I've commentated on before, actually, is Hakon. One of 2 Norwegian drivers in the field. A driver for Ignium Motorsport. They're very shiny blue and matte black design. Ah, Bart forgot to apply his livery, did he? Oh well. Sounds like a him problem. Currently, Maxim van den Hove is the fastest. Top of the pile by just 0.003 of a second from Callum Reed-Garton. Eystein Herfjord is in 3rd place for T3 Motorsport by Maniti. And Senna Hulsmans is in 5th for the beautiful Flemish Sim Sports by Viraco. Billy Fletcher is in the session, but unfortunately hasn't gone out on track just yet. But we hope to see him back out there soon. Frederick van Eekhoven has just done 2 personal best sectors on this lap in the Racing Forces machine. Gorgeous livery on that car. Cross the line he goes. And he improves, but Van den Hove after Senna Lansens went top. He has just improved. Fantastic stuff by Maxime van den Hove. That's a GTE Racing by Red Ant 1-2 for him and Senna. Very, very dominant so far by the look of them. Hans Polman saying he wishes he could join the series. I wish we could have you out there, mate. But you do a hell of a lot of racing, so it's understandable that you're not out there with us. Let's see how my mate Mark gets on, shall we? 5th at the moment. Still identical times with Senna Hulsmans, but he's only quarter of a second off and only a matter of thousandths ahead of Håkon Grebstad. Incredibly close once again, but this is the thing. The drivers that get this car and can really drive it, they are absolute machines, I swear to you. Look at them hopping the curbs. These cars can deal with a bit of that. I mean, if you've ever watched them in the real world, you'll see that these cars do bounce around a lot. They look very soft and wobbly when they hit curbs and stuff, or any sort of solid parts of the circuit that change the way that the car behaves. They do really show off some fantastic body language. This is Sebastian Heberer for Berserk Racing. If I could brake without ABS, I'd be there on track, says Ed May. Yeah, that's fair enough, mate. Just trying to have a look down the times now and see roughly if anyone's improving on their other sectors that aren't coming up on the screen, because we only see a couple of them at a time. But as you can see at the bottom there, all yellow sectors at the moment. It's yellow when they have completed the sector and not improved. Obviously it's green for a personal best and then purple for an overall best. So as you see, Tom Dadswell has done a personal best sector 1, but the rest of it has not been an improvement for him. This is Tom Dadswell now on our screens. Senna Lansens crosses the line, trying to beat a 1:28.8. It's going to be a 1:29.9 for him. Dadswell out the final corner. Håkon Grebstad does a purple sector 4. We'll have to keep our eye on him in the Ignium car. What does Tom Dadswell do? It's not an improvement there. He must have made a mistake somewhere around the lap. That looks like a good time for Håkon Grebstad. 1:29.1 though. Still doesn't put him further up the order. Just trying to see if anyone is really pushing the limits. We've got Van den Hove coming across the line now. Still just over a tenth of a second clear, 1:30.3, but I think this is going to be a fast lap for him. We go on board just to show you how this car behaves from the current provisional pole sitter. Not long left to go now, 1 minute and 10 seconds, so this will be the final lap for Maxime van den Hove. Look at how I can't even get my words out. You really need to be precise with the steering inputs. You can't just throw it in. You've got to do it sort of incrementally. Bit by bit. Over the curbs. Wow, massive jump over the curbs. And that has pretty much written off that lap and probably the bottom of the car, to be honest with you. You're going to see a number of cars tonight that haven't been in incidents technically, but have got damage like we see here on Frederik van Eekhoven's car, where they've just smacked a curb a little bit too much. Another little bit of news as well, we may get different classes as the season goes on. Bart and the admins behind the scenes will basically assess the performance of the drivers and their overall pace and maybe divide them up. We've got 12 seconds left before the checkered flag comes out. Is Frederik van Eekhoven? Yeah, he is going to make it, surely. Yeah, he makes it across the line. Who's just about to finish a lap here? That's Callum Reid Garton. Oh, did he get across the line? He did, and that is that. Pole position at the very death, the literal final second for Callum Reid-Garton. What an absolute lad. Brilliant stuff. Well, if that shows you what the season's going to be like, I want more. Callum Reid-Garton takes pole position then from Maxime van den Hove. Senna Lansens and Øystein Herfjord make up row 2. I'll get your name right over the course of the season, mate. I'm sorry. Mark Fletcher is 5th with Senna Hulsmans alongside him. Then it's Håkon Grebstad and Tom Dadswell. Frederik van Eekhoven is 9th. Defending champion Lewis Ward is 10th, ahead of Mathieu Soufi and Sebastian Heberer. Then it's Loic Lamol in 13th place, ahead of his countryman Ronald Moons. 2 more Belgians on row 8, Hendrik de Grave and Bart Daleman. And then we have Billy Fletcher in 17th position. Hopefully he will take the start. It looks like he has, which is good. So we will have Billy for this one. So the races, as far as I know, will be timed. As we just wait now for a number of the drivers to make their way to the grid. We look at Senna Lansens in 3rd position. He's just ahead of Øystein Herfjord in the gorgeous T3 Motorsport by Maniti colours. Mark Fletcher just behind them. Neither of the drivers from the front row are there yet, but Daleman has just popped up in the background. And there is Maxime van den Hove on the outside heading into turn 1, but that can help you into turn 2. So the lights are about to come on then. And here we go then, the start of the NEVO European Porsche Cup Series is upon us and we're away. Looks like a fantastic start by Herfjord. He goes to the right-hand side of van den Hove but cannot find the gap. Down the inside goes Senna Lansens. Mark Fletcher's been squeezed into the middle there. He's side by side with Håkon Grebstad. Side by side, Herfjord look down the inside of Lansens. Looks like everybody's got away nice and cleanly. Loic Lamol has dropped 4 places though and dropped to the back. Lewis Ward has dropped 4 places as well. But everybody keeping it nice and tidy to begin with. But Callum Reid-Garton leads the way for Altitude Esports. And this first 25-minute race, well, it's going to be a big test for the drivers to get used to one another. And who's doing what? And oh no, Maxime van den Hove's off. He's in the wall. Oh, and he's been absolutely clouted. The 2 Flemish cars get into him. Hendrik de Grave slams on the brakes. Oh, no. Did Maxim get any help? That's the question. He's over the curb now. He's lost it himself. His teammate gives him a bit of a tap, and then out of nowhere, RKO. Bang! Massive hit. That is Senna Hulsmans. Let's have a look at it, though. Senna's a bit further back. He's side by side with the 42 car. Bounces over the curb. Oh, and then there's a second bit of contact. Ouch. That was big contact with Sebastian Heberer. And that was a big old mess, to put it quite frankly. So big names already having accidents, but Callum Reid-Garton, he's not bothered about that. He leads the race. Does the fastest lap of the race first time round. Håkon Grebstad is trying to find his way past his countryman, Øystein Herfjord. And look at this now. 2 of the prettiest cars on the grid making use of the metallic spec maps here on iRacing. Great fun to watch though, but van den Hove and Senna Hulsmans both in the pits. It looks like Hendrik de Grave has carried on. Look at this though, Håkon Grebstad looking one way then the other. He's hoping to make Herfjord go a little bit deep. He's got 2 Altitude Esports cars behind him. Mark Fletcher and then Tom Dadswell. And Frederik van Eekhoven. Bart Daleman and Billy Fletcher both gaining 4 places each off the start. Billy got through the mayhem. Mark Fletcher's off. Fletcher's gone off at the chicane. You can see he's gone straight on because he's only just been overtaken by Dadswell. Must have just outdone himself on the brakes. Coming down the hill, it's so easy to do. Mark now down to 7th place. He's got Mathieu Soufi behind him, the sole remaining Flemish car that hasn't been in an incident anyway. But your race leader, Callum Reid-Garton, 1.3 seconds clear as of right now. He's got a nice tidy gap. It does say 6.5 on the left, but that will update. Just give it time. There you go. Fastest lap of the race, though, by Senna Lansons. The GTE Racing by Red Ant car going very well right now. Close battle, though. Whoa, excuse me. Nearly fell off mid-chair. Billy Fletcher down the inside of Bart Daleman, who's hidden behind the timing tower. Billy needs to give him room on the exit. Runs a little bit wide. Looked like there might have been a tiny, tiny touch there, but Billy is through. Loic Lamont hoping to make up some more ground after a poor start. He is actually where he started as of right now. But we all know that as a racing driver, you want to finish ahead of where you start. It's not quite possible for Callum right now out in the lead, but he will be very, very pleased with his current progress. This battle for third is one that is worth keeping our eyes on. Speaking of eyes, the iLiveries machine, or the iLiveries designed T3 Motorsport car is absolutely stunning, isn't it? A lot of great liveries in this championship. But Herfjord, he's in the sort of situation where you never really want to be right now. He's not quite close enough to Senna Lansons to chuck one up the inside or make a move of it. But the whole time he's having to try and catch him up while paying attention to what Håkon Grebstad is doing behind him. And this whole train sticking together, although Callum Reid-Garton is starting to check out here. He's got damage from the curbs, as you see, but the number 22 car leads the way by 1.7 seconds. Ignore the timing on the left for a moment. It does say 3.9, and I can tell you that is wrong. Frederik van Eekhoven finds himself the Racing Forces filling in an Altitude Esports bread sandwich. Mark Fletcher watching on as his teammate is ahead. Not seen much of Lewis Ward yet. Started 10th on the grid. He's up to 8th position after just staying out of trouble in the opening laps. But he wears that number 1 for a reason. Reigning champion of what was the Sim Racers World European Porsche Cup, obviously now NEVO. Been fantastic to see the development into NEVO, by the way. It's really entertaining stuff. Love the whole visual aspect of it. I really like making the overlays for them as well. I feel we've got a really clean, tidy looking overlay, as Eystein Herfjord doesn't have a clean, tidy run at the final chicane. He's lost quite a bit of ground here to Senna Lansons. He's having to certainly defend from that man there, Håkon Grebstad. Moves to the right-hand side, down the inside into turn 2, and Håkon gets it done. And he's going to hack on and move forward, I imagine. Herfjord may be feeling that he doesn't quite have the pace right now, and he needs to maybe let him through and just try and follow him. Here's the B Sim Racing car of Loic Lamont, Bart Daleman and Ronald Moons right behind. Fantastic little trio here. If we go to the blimp cam, it's actually a quartet. You can see we've got Hendrik de Grave just behind this as well. Hendrik's made a great recovery so far. Some wonderful scenery here at Zolder, but look, you can see from the back of the paddock just how compressed it is here. The FIA European Truck Racing Championship race is here as well. Somehow they managed to manoeuvre everything in the very tiny paddock they have at the back. It's not quite Brands Hatch size though, is it? Look at that big send down the inside by the 76. Oh, he's locked up on the brakes. Ronald Moons just gets it a little bit wrong. Hendrik de Grave has to take to the Hendrik de Gravel. And he's got a slowdown penalty for that, and he loses time as well. Back with Frederik van Eekhoven. And he's trying to eke out a gap over Mark Fletcher. Mark moving around behind him to try and make a move. And nothing doing just yet though. And all of a sudden, it looks like he was on the back of Tom Dadswell there. But he is not. Look how close Fletcher is to the back of us, though, as we ride on board with Frederik van Eekhoven. And Fletcher looks to the inside, gets his nose down there. He's opened the door somehow. Doesn't quite get any sort of move done, though. Thank you very much, Hansy. I'm trying to be on form this season for my puns. Poor Ed May doesn't have to share the commentary box with me and put up with them. Bless him. Nobody does. Whoa, big moment there as they go over the curves, but look at the way the cars move around. Absolutely fantastic to see them bouncing so much, really absorbing the impact from the road and the curbs. That's one of the things about these Porsches, you can really upset them. So you need to be careful in taking liberties when it comes to that. And all of a sudden, Frederik van Eekhoven is on the attack here on Tom Dadswell. It's up to Mark Fletcher to be our camera car. He's got the front row seat to this. He's now suddenly the one attacking Van Eekhoven. Moves to the left-hand side. Tries to go later on the brakes, but slots back in behind him. He's going to be expecting Dadswell maybe to hold him up a little bit, help him through. This has been great racing so far from everybody involved. Very even lap times between the top two. Callum Reid-Garton 1.2 seconds clear of Senna Lansons. Look at the way that the car moves around. It's not simple, smooth inputs, is it? There's so much movement going on in the wheel. You can just see Mark on the left-hand side really, really moving it around there. It's great to watch. These cars do dance and float about. You'll see them on the brakes now. Look how much they move around left and right and really absorb the bumps. They're very elegant to watch, these Porsches. I was lucky enough to unveil Seb Morris's new Porsche Cup or Porsche Carrera Cup GB car at Porsche Centre Chester just a week or so ago, and when you see them in person you realise just how beautiful they are. I think Mark Fletcher had a bit of a moment there. Sounded like the revs dropped very suddenly, and Bart Daleman, despite going off a few moments ago, has done a purple Sector 3 on his previous lap. Hansy very correctly there saying you have to really steer it with the brake and the throttle. It's very, very true. You've got to use the power of the car to help pitch it in and get the back end out to just assist with the rotation on corner exit. I'll show you the track map and just see whereabouts everybody is. At the moment you can see we've got a long train of cars, but Senna Hulsmans and Maxim van den Hove, the cars in 16th and 17th place. Obviously a long way off the train. Frederik van Eekhoven has just lost out to Mark Fletcher. Mark getting that done as soon as we stop looking. Chaz needs to fix his splash screen for the replays. That was the thing I didn't do. So it's going to say that this is the SimStickers F3 series, but it's not. Sorry. I've only just realised that. Van Eekhoven all over the back of Mark now. He's not let him get away with this one. Mark's just going to hope that his teammate can help sort of drag him along. Tom Dadswell, like I've said, very, very quick. Billy Fletcher's having a good race for Altitude Esports as well. He's gained 6 positions so far from where he started. Make that 7 positions from where he started, overtaking Mathieu Soufi. There are the gains on the left-hand side. You can see nobody except Billy has got more than 3 positions gained so far in this race. But good stuff from the number 88. This battle between these two still going on, by the way. Håkon Grebstad just behind Eystein Herfjord now. As we go into about the halfway point now, 12.5 minutes in. And the cloud cover is changing quite a bit as this race goes on, isn't it? It was very sunny before, but now you can see that the cars look a little bit more shiny. The whole thing is a bit more gloomy. It's a lot moodier. So maybe a bit of a temperature change. We'll show you the weather conditions as well. You can see track temperature only 22 degrees, so it's not really a hot circuit right now. 18 degrees air temperature, and it's not very humid. It may get hotter though, because it is 11:15 in the sim in the morning, so the sun will continue to rise and sit above the circuit, heat up that surface. Look at how much curb they can take through there. Both of these cars looking absolutely mega. Have to give a shout to Senna Lansons in this race. He's really pushing on. Look at that. Fantastic stuff out of the hairpin. He's really doing his best to chase down the 22 machine of Callum Reid-Garton. Both have slight damage to the front right corners of their 992 machines. Cross line once more to start lap 10 of this race here at Zolder. Now we do have a random reversed grid for the second races as Fletcher goes past Tom Dadswell. Mark now back into 5th position, which is where he started. But as I was mentioning, we do have a reverse grid. Now one thing that's really interesting about this is that the grid is drawn before the evening so that they can set the session up as a heat racing session and reverse the necessary amount of drivers. I think that's a fantastic idea because it means that you don't have to set up an individual extra session then and do it all yourself manually. So hats off to Bart Daleman and the guys for continuing to change the way things are done in league racing and come up with all these cool formats and ideas. The 2 Altitude Esports right now just line astern, hoping to keep Frederik van Eekhoven behind them. Bit further back, we've got Bart Daleman being chased down by Hendrik de Grave and Ronald Moons, who's in 15th position in car 76. And the Berserk Racing driver not quite going berserk through the field. He's lost 1 place from where he started. But Senna Hulsmans and Maxim van den Hove, after both starting a bit further up, well, they have not had races to remember. Senna Hulsmans is here. Number 13 clearly unlucky for some as he sits down in 16th place, and then Maxim van den Hove in the Red Ant car, who was on pole position for most of qualifying at the very back. And you only get points up to 15th place as far as I know, as he goes to check the rule book. They're both 25-minute races as well. And yes, you do get points up to 15th place. Ben Hoffman saying it's very satisfying to not see Bart Daleman up front. Sebastian Heberer has got a bit of company right now, and that is Billy Fletcher. Now let's not forget, Billy didn't qualify in this, so we didn't get an idea of his pace there. So it's been great to see Billy make this way, or make this progress up through the order. And even better as well, I must say, to see him do it with a completely clean car. The very shiny Altitude Esports entry. Windscreen wiper coming on for a second there for Billy, which is something that you can do in the Porsche and have been able to do for a while now. Obviously in preparation for rain, I imagine. We've been able to do it in rallycross cars for ages, but yeah, it seems like maybe a bit of dirt kicked up on the windscreen or something there, as Hakon Grebstad has just had a scary moment. He's lost a lot of time, actually, to Herfjord. Let's have a look. Pitches it in. Oh, he's just gone a little bit deep. Just a little bit too deep in there, but easy to do. Easy to do. I'm sure we've all gone off there before because it's such an easy place to go off the road. Just going to give the overlay a quick messing with there, as Billy Fletcher has got past Sebastian Heberer. Sebastian's been off the road. So Billy now up into 9th place. 8 spots gained for car 88. And wow, a massive slide on the exit of the corner. You've got to love a bit of that. Billy will hopefully continue to move forward for his sake. But this lead battle has closed down a lot as Callum Reid Garton smashes the curb. And Senna Lanson suddenly finds himself within 0.6 of a second. Well, this has certainly changed things. Just having to try and pick out any sort of differences between these two and the way they approach these corners. We still have about 6 minutes left of this race. Senna Hulsmans has come into the pits, by the way, and he is now stopped in his pit box, but the battle for the lead has ignited here, and it is Callum Reid Garton having to try and hold off Senna Lansons in the GTE Racing by Red Ant car. Both of the GTE Racing drivers were at the top of qualifying at one point, and Callum's been really impressive so far. He just needs to keep it up. God, you gotta love the noise these things make. These things make, I should say. Hakon Grebstad, by the way, has had a lot of off-tracks. According to the software that we use, SDK, the wonderful SDK, pretty much the most off-tracks we've seen by anyone is Bart Daleman. These aren't always consistent with the sim, so we can't report on a perfect amount of off-tracks, but in this software, Bart is displaying has done 8 off-tracks. Hakon Grebstad has apparently had 13. It doesn't do incident points for contact. It doesn't always pick up that because there are inconsistencies with what people get, but yeah, apparently 13 off-tracks for Hakon Grebstad. So Hakon needs to get back on the track, it seems. Oh, that was a poor one. Hendrik de Grave, though, all over the back of Bart Delman right now. Is he going to have a move down the inside into the hairpin? Yes, he is. He's later on the brakes, sticks his nose down the inside. Bart's going to give him the room, and he gets the run off the corner. Nice stuff. And there's been a move for the lead. Senna Lansons has gone down the inside of Callum Reid Garton. He then cuts across to the inside line, blocks off the apex, and Callum's going to come back at him. Let's have a quick look at how this first happened. Oh, wow, it was down into the hairpin, so it had already happened at least once. And I'd missed it. Callum tries to squeeze him. Oh, very, very naughty by both of them. Callum squeezed him to the inside, and Senna ran a little bit deep. And now this is starting to hot up. Lansons leads it for now. How quickly can that change? On board with Callum Reid Garton. Oh, Callum's gone deep. He's gone way too late on the brakes. He smashes into the back of Senna Lanson's car, makes it look very ugly at the rear, which is hard to do with this beautiful 992 car. But how is that going to affect the front of Callum's car now? That is the question. The chase continues through the chicane once more. 22.5 minutes complete as we cross the line. I think we're probably going to have 2 more laps now. This one and then one more. As staying out of the way there, I believe, was Maxime van den Hove as Callum Reid Garton looks to the inside again. There's more contact with the back of Senna Lanson's car. Senna's not going to like this. Callum chucks it up the inside. He's still down the inside. Just doesn't quite have his nose alongside there. Is Senna going to be able to hold on? We look back at second place. Down the gears. Up over the curbs. Whoa, contact once again. Well, Callum really doesn't like following that GTE racing car, does he? There's a battle going on here as well. Håkon Grebstad side by side with Mark Fletcher as they come down the hill. Into the Villeneuve chicane. Yeah, we're going to see a little Cayman pop out in 9 months, actually, to be honest, Ed. But Senna Lansons, for now, after that second bit of contact through the chicane, has actually extended the gap slightly. I think Callum had to back out of it, lost a bit of momentum. And into the pits comes Senna Lansons. Now, that is not what we expected. Is that a drive-through for the incident limit? Is it a meatball? If it is, that's going to go down like a cup of cold sick. With, well, both of the GT Racing by Red Ant drivers, I'm sure. Håkon Grebstad and Mark Fletcher still fighting together as well. This is now for the final podium spot. Mark puts his nose down the inside after being on the outside at turn 1. Håkon's still there. They give each other plenty of room as they make their way around turn 3. So close. Look at that. Bit of a tap. Fletcher runs out wide. And now Håkon's on the right-hand side. Dan McCauley in the chat. Good to see you, mate. And yep, incident limit indeed. And now Grebstad in front on the brakes. Tom Dadswell and Frederik van Eekhoven are close together as well behind this look. Over the crest of the hill they go. That means that Callum Reid-Garton is now the race leader by some 1.9 seconds. And Herfjord, after just keeping his nose clean throughout this race, is doing a wonderful job in second, isn't he? Means that Billy Fletcher has moved up 9 spots into 8th place. But just up the road there, coming into the final couple of corners after 17 laps, leading most of them and having a hell of a fight to get to the end. Callum Reid-Garton is going to come round the final corner. We're not sure if it'll stand, but Altitude Esports take the first win of the season on the road here at Zolder. Eystein Herfjord finishes second, and Håkon Grebstad will round out the podium ahead of Mark Fletcher and Tom Dadswell. 3 Altitude Esports cars in the top 5. Frederik van Eekhoven just behind Tom Dadswell. And into the final corner, Senna Lansons gets one over on Loic Lamol. And he will finish in 11th place. Quite a lot of what might have been there for Senna Lansons. I'm sure that won't go down well. More battles further down as well. Hendrik de Grave, Ronald Moons and Bart Daleman. But there is the first race winner this season, everybody. Callum Reid-Garton takes the win on the road. And all of a sudden, we skip over into warm-up. So, let's have a look at some results, shall we? We'll take you through exactly how that one finished. Callum Reid-Garton takes the win, 1.8, nearly 1.9 seconds ahead of Eystein Herfjord, with Håkon Grebstad making it 2 Norwegians on the podium. Mark Fletcher and Tom Dadswell mean that most of the top 5 is Altitude Esports, with Frederik van Eekhoven's Racing Forces car in 6th. Lewis Ward was 7th ahead of Billy Fletcher, then Sebastian Hebera, with Mathieu Soufi rounding out the top 10. Senna Lansons was eventually in 11th ahead of Loic Lamol. Hendrik de Grave in 13th, Ronald Moons 14th, and then Bart Daleman in the last point-scoring position. The other 2 cars behind him were Maxime van den Hove and Senna Hulsmans. So a very, very lively first race of the night. Plenty to look at. Really enjoyable fun. And we cannot wait for the next one. There is a reverse grid. I've been told that tonight's reverse grid is going to be 10th place. So if we do go those results up again, it's going to be Mathieu Soufi that will take it. And how annoyed would you be right now if you were Senna Lansons? Missing out on a reverse grid pole, which would have been a second chance by just 1 position. Very, very frustrating for him. So we have a 5-minute warm-up session here, which means that we've just got a few seconds to chill out ahead of the next session. And if you just give me a couple of minutes, everybody, I will be right back with you. Now that's just showing off. Hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott here for the NEVO European Porsche Cup Series. And well, what a fantastic first race we had here at Zolder. Round 2 of the championship will be coming up in just a moment. We just have warm-up finishing right now. And the race winner from our first race was Callum Reid-Garton. He's just subscribed to the channel as well. Thank you very much, Callum. And obviously, if you haven't already, then please do subscribe to Chaz Draycott Media. I'm not just broadcasting this, but also with the wonderful Ed May alongside me, we broadcast the NEVO SimStickers Formula 3 Championship as well. There is also my very own Formula 1 World Championship using the Pro Mazda in 1997 Formula 1 mock liveries. And of course the incredible, what has been an incredible Sim Racing Magazine GT4 series. We've had a hell of a lot of fun with that so far, so I hope you can join me for some of those. Matthew Sufi inherits pole position then, thanks to the reverse grid. He's got alongside him Sebastian Hebera, then it's Billy Fletcher and Lewis Ward. Frederick Van Eekhoven and Tom Dadswell make up row 3. Mark Fletcher and Hakon Grebstad can continue their fight on row 4, with Eystein Herfjord and Callum Reid-Garton on row 5. He is reunited with Senna Lansens in 11th, just ahead of Loic Lamolle. Then we have Hendrik de Grave with Ronald Moons 14th, Bart Daleman 15th, ahead of Maxim van den Hove. Watch out for him, and Senna Hulsmans coming through from the back of the order. So, who do you reckon? Who do you reckon? God, that sounds great, doesn't it? Right then, round 2 of the championship here from Zolder in the NEVO European Porsche Cup Series. God, that sounds good. Is underway. I've had a moment. Billy Fletcher is in second place already, leading down to turn 1. Herfjord's been squeezed out, and off the road goes Sebastian Hebera. Herfjord's gone sideways as well. There's 4 wide into turn 2. Someone's poking the nose down the inside. That's Hendrik de Grave. Maxim van den Hove has gained 7 spots off the start. What on earth? Well, he's gained 7 so far. That's if he stays on the road, side by side with Callum Reid-Garton. Side by side around the outside he goes. Tries to find the space. There isn't space there. Matthew Sufi, though, leads the way, and he's got Billy Fletcher and Tom Dadswell right behind. Mark Fletcher in 5th position. Look at all the mess in the background that they're having to sort out. Sufi's off. Sufi's off from the lead, and there's a massive hit by the 73. Oh, Matthew Sufi off the road. Senna Hulsmans is off again. And Seb Hebera is recovering. Flemish have had a nightmare at that chicane in both races. Hakon Grebstad's not got much of his car left. Side by side with Hendrik de Grave. Maxim van den Hove has now gained 8 places off the start. Flipping heck. Herfjord's got a massive train of cars behind him as well. Wow, it's very, very feisty. And up in front, they're 3 wide. Oh no, Hendrik de Grave has been turned around. Maxim van den Hove made it all happen by sticking his nose down the inside. He wouldn't have meant for there to be contact, but race 1 winner Callum Reid-Garton is caught up in that. It was maybe a bit unnecessary by Maxim van den Hove. Oh, this was that. Wow. Look at that. Look at that rejoin. Who was that? Was that Hakon Grebstad? I think it was. In the 73 machine. Rejoin the road in front of everybody. So this is how it all unfolded from in here. So Maxim van den Hove. We'll go on the chopper cam, actually. So the black number 43 car, 3rd in line, looks to the inside. He was later on the brakes, and, well, I don't know, he was kind of alongside for a while, and then Callum gets turned around as Grebstad tries to get back on with it, but plenty of incidents in the opening exchanges. All of a sudden, though, Billy Fletcher and Mark Fletcher, not related, find themselves 1 and 2 for Altitude Esports. Senna Lansens is up into 3rd place. Amazing stuff. Maxim van den Hove's up into 6th, but Senna Lansens, after starting 11th, is up 8 places into 3rd. That's fantastic for him. But yes, unfortunately, it was a little bit messy, and not the footballer. This is Van Eekhoven in 5th position. He kept it very clean in race 1. It looks like he's doing more of the same here. Callum Reid-Garton has come back out on track, so too has Matthew Sufi, both of which have been into the pits. But 3 minutes of this race already gone. Doesn't time fly when you're having fun? But still, this nice little trio all together. Maxim van den Hove does the fastest lap of the race. No, that's Billy Fletcher and Mark Fletcher. We should probably do it like this, shouldn't we? There you go. You get B Fletcher and M Fletcher. Billy leading this at the moment. And bear in mind, Billy started last on the grid for race 1. He didn't qualify. Started right at the back. Made his way through the order. And right now is leading the race after starting 3rd on the grid. Absolutely awesome. Let's have a look then back at what happened with the guys at the front of the field going off the road here. So I think Sufi does it all on his own. He's clipped the curb. Billy goes around. He just clips him. And then Grebstad's got nowhere to go. I don't think Grebstad had anywhere to go when he came back on either, to be honest. Lewis Ward got involved in it. It was all a bit scrappy, wasn't it? But it always is out of that chicane. It's never easy to rejoin the circuit when you're doing such speed and you're on the throttle as well, and it really narrows up like that. Across the line once again we go then. Lewis Ward, reigning champion of this series, let's not forget, on the back of Loic Lamol. Lewis Ward racing as a privateer this season. Van den Hove, another fastest lap of the race. He's gained 11 spots in this event so far. I say in this event, in this race. I think in net positions, I think he's probably lost 1 based on what happened in the first race. Or even actually lost more than that, maybe 3. Now this looks like a good run by Lewis Ward. Loic Lamol just goes a bit wide. And all of a sudden, he finds that the gap has extended again a couple of corners later. It's incredible how it changes like that, isn't it? Very, very sudden changes. So, looking up and down the order for those that have moved up, Senna Lansons to me is just... He's been so impressive so far as Senna. Very, very impressive performance. And to be fair, throughout all of the mayhem, to stay composed throughout all of it and make your way through the argy-bargy and all the mayhem, it's good going. Very, very good going. Closest battle on track, though, is behind Frederick van Eekhoven. Maxim van den Hove right on the back of him in the GTE Racing by Red Ant car, continuing his charge up the order. Actually, Frederick's overtaken him since, you know, he went off the road. Let's have a look. Is he just going to overdo it through the chicane? Whoa, that's a big bouncy boy, isn't it? Great save, it has to be said. Actually, if you want to see a battle, well, Bart Daleman has got an absolute train chasing him down, at the back of which is Senna Hulsmans. You can see here that this is not just a quartet as you see on the screen, it's actually a quintet, because there is Bart at the front of it. Again, this just shows one make racing. It is so, so exciting because of how close it is. I think we ought to stay like this for a minute, to be honest. I love this camera shot. Love it when we can see so many cars in one as well. You get a quick idea of what's going on ahead. You see the different lines that people are taking here. Look, Senna tries to get some sort of cutback as Maxime van den Hove has moved ahead of Frederik van Eekhoven a bit further up. And here comes the move from Senna. Surely looks down the inside on Ronald Moons. Oh, there's a move in front as well. Bart Delman gets shoved off the road by Sebastian Heberer, both admins of NEVO. Butting heads. And he's letting him back through. Either that or he's just got to slow down. He's got to do it anyway. And now the two Berserk cars are side by side in the chicane. Don't hit your teammate. Rule number 1 in motorsport. Well, we see all that unfold. This is Maxime van den Hove then. 5th place at the moment. Frederik van Eekhoven's got Eystein Herfjord right behind him. I still stumble when I come to his name. I'm sorry, Eystein. And if I'm saying it wrong, then please do feel free to point it out. I'm happy to take the feedback. The wonderful Ed May did try and give me pointers on how to pronounce it just as the stream started as well, bless him. Here's that quintet that's been very suddenly shaken up by those manoeuvres. Senna Hulsman suddenly finds himself near the front of it with just Hakon Grebstad ahead. Still close between these guys, though, inside the top 5. We're only 10 minutes into this race already, so there's still plenty of action yet to come. And these are proper sprint races as well, you know. They're not any sort of distance near where we'd have to have a pit stop. And you're right, Jakob, in the chat, saying Porsches are really growing on me, and me too. You know, they're so amazing, these cars. Really, really do love them. They make a great sound, they look the part, they go well, and I mean the racing that they produce is just fantastic. Now hang on a second. Did I miss this literally just now? I was just checking the timing. Oh, Maxime van den Hove had a slowdown on the previous lap. Okay. Ben Kreener in the chat, good to see you, mate. Good to see you indeed. Now, I actually haven't driven much of this car, I won't lie. There was a move there, wasn't there? Van den Hove around the outside. There's contact. Oh, I think he did squeeze Herfjord to the inside, to be honest. And, well, Van den Hove's horrendous evening is over by the look of it. Look at this. Grebstad with what's left of his Porsche. Managing to get ahead of Senna Hulsman's in the number 13 car, or at least fend him off, I think. Lewis Ward has moved up to 6th place, but after the earlier contact, he is actually down 2 places from where he started. Billy Fletcher leads this race, but he's only half a second ahead of Mark Fletcher at the moment. Great to see the 2 Altitude cars going well, though. Good friends of mine at Altitude, I must admit. You know, I'm not going to be biased, but it's always nice, isn't it? All right, Ronald Moons and Bart Delman. Take 2. Let's have another look, actually, at this. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Herfjord didn't have to back out of it, and to be fair, he was on the curb. I think Maxime just didn't leave enough room there, I'm afraid. It's hard to do through the chicanes, though, granted. Very, very hard to do. Now this lead battle is getting closer and closer and closer. And yeah, very, very rightly in the chat, Grumpy Dad has said Billy's not going to give this to Mark easily. No, he is not. I don't think there's going to be any team orders here. Mark may be the big boss. But I think they're just going to race around as they can. They're only at the halfway point, so there's no point risking anything yet. The race can still develop. Senna Lansons in third position is about 3.3 seconds off the pair ahead. And Herfjord has still got battles going on behind him. Like I say, Hakon Grebstad's a very grumpy looking Porsche. Sits in 9th place at the moment, ahead of Senna Hulsmans. But it's been a nice, tightly knit, close racing thing, championship series so far. All of the racing's been nice and close, very intimate racing, it has to be said. Mark Fletcher and Billy Fletcher still so close together, aren't they? And don't forget as well, we've got another altitude car inside the top 5. Tom Dadswell not having a lonely race as such, as, well, as you can see, SpongeBob at the wheel. He's gradually chasing down Senna Lansons, although his last lap was a 10th slower. But they're still on very, very similar pace. The fastest lap anybody did last time round was actually Senna Lansons. Actually, I apologise. No, it was Callum Reid-Garton. The 129.7 to the 129.9 of Senna Lansons. So, while Callum is only going to get 1 championship point, he's at least still in it to win it. You've got to be. As whoa, hello, Senna Hulsmans there, moving to the left-hand side on Hakon Grebstad. As whoa, I didn't think they were going to make contact then as they came together. He gets a really, really good run down the hill. Lovely stuff. I think Hakon just went a little bit deep, did he? Oh, the two of them just... It was like the tiniest bit of net code. And then they both touched. Look at this. It's like an 8-wheeled Porsche, isn't it? This pair at the front. 16 3/4 minutes done. There's still plenty of time for this to develop. Hope you're all enjoying the action so far, though. Apologies for just a few bits of silence here. I'm just, as always, trying to work things out in the background while the racing is going on. I should probably just leave it till next time, but honestly, I'm so picky that I like to fiddle with stuff and just make sure it's fixed. Senna Hulsmans did a purple sector 1 on this lap, and he is now trying to go around Hakon Grebstad on the other side into the Villeneuve chicane. Oh, and there's contact. Hakon moved over to the right a little bit by the look of it. Oh, and that rejoin isn't on. We saw a bit of a shoddy rejoin earlier by Hakon, and that was, well, that was not on. by Hakon. If I'm honest with you, let's have a look. It's hard to judge from that angle, but I don't know. Hakon moved over to the right, but the rejoin is beyond poor, unfortunately, there, mate. That will, like I said before, go down like a cup of cold sick. Billy Fletcher is continuing to lead this race with about a 1/10.5 quicker than Mark Fletcher last time round on that previous lap. But Mark, as you can imagine right now, probably just sitting, waiting and just following Billy. Don't think he's going for the move. Senna Lansons, though, as we look on, is now 2.8 seconds behind. Dadswell is 2.1 seconds behind him. So it's a little bit spread out between these boys right now, and the gaps aren't changing too much with just under, or just over, 5 minutes left to go. 5 1/4. This is still a great battle, though, isn't it? These guys not too far apart. Hakon Grebstad has been overtaken by Callum Reid Garton. Oh, Hakon's come out of the pits, and to me, that car doesn't look fixed at all. He did carry on for a bit, and then yeah, he just pulled it over to one side, and he's realised that the car is kaput. These two have been exemplary so far, though. Mark Fletcher started 7th on the grid. Billy Fletcher started 3rd. Both had tidy starts. Managed to survive the mayhem. Mark moving around. He's showing Billy that he's actually got some sort of intent to make a move here. And as mentioned by Kimber Haight in chat, they're not giving each other much room, are they? I just hope, for God's sake, they don't make contact. And I hope these lot don't make contact as well. Sebastian Herbera looks down the inside into the hairpin. Goes a little bit deep. Hendrik de Grave tries the move. And this quintet goes on to another lap here at Zolder. We got 17 laps in last time, so we'll probably get about the same in this time, won't we? Don't see any reason why it would be that different. Although, whoa, bit of a moment there for Billy Fletcher. It didn't look too fast through there, did it? And all of a sudden, he finds himself under attack from Mark Fletcher a bit more than he was before. And now look, Mark's going for the outside here. He's actually going for the move around Billy Fletcher. Looks down the inside on the second part of the chicane. I don't think anyone was expecting this. And Billy does hold his ground down the inside. And somehow Mark has found the speed to go back around the outside again. Wow. Fantastic racing so far. And Billy just holds on in front. Mark's trying everything though. Definitely team orders thrown out the window completely here. It did look like there was a little bit of contact through the chicane. That is at the end of the lap, apologies. Still Billy holds on in front though. There's battle further back as well. Bart Delman has got Sebastian Hebera and Hendrik de Grave behind. And Senna Hulsmans has got Ronald Moons for company as he has a big wobble. Now, as mentioned, the Fletchers are not related. I thought they were because they both used to race with Radicals at one point in the World GT Championship, but no. They are already lining up for a photo finish. It's great scrapping though. I bet they're loving it. They're probably communicating with each other in Discord or something, to be fair. As no, Bart Delman's gone off at the chicane. But Billy Fletcher comes around the final corner and he's going to start one more lap. Thanks, Barney. Dust it off, mate. But look, behind them, if they keep fighting, Senna Lansons is going to be right in there for this one. Senna is closing, and he's 3 and a bit seconds ahead of Tom Dadswell. Bart Delman has Sebastian Hebera and Hendrik de Grave for company. But we need to keep our eye on this, I'm afraid. Billy Fletcher ahead of Mark Fletcher. And they're not in the same Discord, apparently. Thank you for the inside knowledge. I think we might have to change away from this camera. God, that's scary. Very, very scary. But Billy stays in front. Quickly skipping back to this. No changes here, but Hendrik de Grave wants to get on with it in the Flemish car. Trying to overtake Berserk Racing's Sebastian Hebera. Frederick van Eekhoven as well is only just ahead of Lewis Ward, who's trying to get into a top 5 finish in his privateer entry. But not long to go now. Just a couple more corners for Billy Fletcher. Let's remember, he started last on the grid for race 1, made up a bunch of positions, managed to get 3rd on the grid for this second race. And now he finds himself at the very front with his namesake behind him, not related, but officially for this series, his teammate. And it's going to be a wonderful Fletcher 1-2. Fantastic display of racing. Great stuff from Altitude Esports tonight. A 1-2 at Zolder. Senna Lanson's fantastic drive for 3rd place. Tom Dadswell makes it 3 Altitude Esports cars in the top 5 once again. Frederick van Eekhoven is just going to beat reigning champion Lewis Ward across the line. Loic Lamol is going to be home in 7th place. A very lonely race for him, but still, points mean prizes. Eystein Herfjord had a bit of a rough one, but he comes across the line in 8th place in the end. Bart Delman is going to be 9th. Sebastian Hebera rounds out the top 10. Top 10 finish to end up his evening. Hendrik de Grave just outside in 11th. Hakon Grebstad and Maxim van den Hove, to be fair, well, it's 2 drivers that very importantly could be big players in the championship. Fantastic stuff by Altitude Esports though. And what a fantastic evening for them. They must be absolutely over the moon with that one. We'll have a quick look at the final results when the last cars across the line. Matthew Sufi is just crossing the line right now. And you can see the team very, very happy with that one, all lining up together with each other. That is the wrong race result. There you go. Billy Fletcher and Mark Fletcher are 1-2 for Altitude Esports. Only 0.2 of a second between them after a fantastic battle near the end. Senna Lansons, what a great drive that is. 3rd place after starting in 11th. Tom Dadswell finishes 4th, another Altitude Esports trio in the top 5, with Frederick van Eekhoven rounding out a very solid night with 5th place. Lewis Ward is 6th, just outside of that top 5, ahead of Loic Lamol and Eystein Herfjord. Bart Delman is 9th with Sebastian Hebera, rounding out your 10. We then have 2 Flemish Sim Sports cars, Hendrik de Grave and Senna Hulsmans, 11th and 12th. Ronald Moons, Callum Reed-Garton and Matthew Sufi round out your points finishers and even race finishers. Hakon Grebstad is 16th with Maxim van den Hove 17th, respectively though, 4 laps and 9 laps down. Well, it was all a bit messy at the beginning, but still, it was very, very entertaining all the way through. Great racing from everybody involved. I certainly enjoyed that. We hope you did as well at home. And what we're going to be doing in just a moment is having a quick chat to some of our drivers and looking back over what was a mega race, see what their thoughts are and how they found everything out there, because at the end of the day, it can get very, very intense. And, well, somebody that's very intense and straight in here for an interview is my good mate Mark Fletcher. That looked like a hell of a battle there with Billy at the end, Mark. I actually thought you might have been in the same Discord channel, but apparently not.
No, when we stream, we go in 2 different Discords. But yeah, that was catch 22 for me. Do I bin my own teammate, or do we have a 1-2?
Well, I did wonder whether there were going to be any sort of team orders or anything, whether Billy would let you by or anything like that, but I kind of hoped there wouldn't be. I thought we'd either see a really good fight, or at least we'd just see you sort of stay line astern. Did you plan on having the fight, or I guess you wouldn't have known you would have got to that situation, I guess.
I think when after that first lap when I was mid-accident through the chicane, I think there are a lot of people going off there, so I'm looking forward to watching that back. Yeah, I mean, when I caught Bill, I was like, we had a 2-second gap behind, and you know me, mate, I'll think about the championship from day one, but there is just a little bit in there that goes, oh, I want to win this.
Yeah.
But yeah, like at altitude, we don't have team orders. There's no point. It ruins the fun. So yeah, he made one mistake, which was coming through the S's, and I just couldn't get past. There was no way without putting him off the road that I was getting past. So yeah, got the gap down to 1.4 behind, and I thought, right, we'll have one more go if it comes, but otherwise let's just settle for 1-2. I'll take that.
And I mean, these cars around here, like you said there, you weren't going to get past without binning him off. It's so narrow and so bumpy. We're not exactly going to much of a wider circuit at Zandvoort next time round. Are you excited for that, though?
Yeah, it should be really good, actually. I'll tell you what, this has got to be obviously there was a little bit of carnage in that race, but this is such a clean championship to be part of. I mean, these cars are really finicky. They're really difficult to drive, and everyone was really, really respectful, which is, credit to Bart for laying down the rules so sternly.
Yeah, well, hopefully we see that continue over the course of the season. It's always something new when you get drivers that haven't raced with each other before and maybe, haven't got the traffic practice with the people that are around, and sometimes there can be the odd bits of contact, but hopefully we get that whittled out early on. Again, though, fantastic evening for Altitude Esports all around, wasn't it? 2 races and 3 cars in the top 5 in both races.
Yeah, we always put a lot of practice in for these. I said Callum was going to be fast at the weekend. Obviously, he dominated here in the GT3 cars. But yeah, I'm proud of all of the boys. We always try and put on a good show. So yeah, hopefully we did that tonight for you guys.
You did indeed. It was certainly entertaining to watch. Is there anyone you'd like to give a quick shout out to, Mark, while I've got you?
Yeah, just all of our team sponsors, Ace Tech Sim Sport, free sim stickers. And obviously, mate, we've got to shout out Team Law, haven't we?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, that's all from me.
Lovely stuff, mate. Well, great to speak to you as ever, mate. It was good to see you on the weekend. And, of course, we look forward to the rest of the championship with you.
Perfect. And if Bill said he weren't trying, he's lying to you.
Well, we'll speak to him next. I'll catch you in a bit.
Cheers, Chaz.
Cheers. Fantastic stuff. And straight from one Fletcher to another. Wow, he didn't even hang around in the interview waiting room to have a chat with you. Billy Fletcher joins me in the box. Billy, great to speak to you again. Great to see you racing again. You must be absolutely over the moon with that, mate. It certainly wasn't the easiest of races, though, was it?
No, definitely not. From avoiding the gentleman that spun on lap 1 at the chicane, I clipped him quite hard, and I thought that might damage the car. I give her a bit of a wiggle after, and like, that feels okay. I've got no excuse now when Mark catches me and passes me. Because when I saw him behind me, I was like, oh no. I know sometimes he's not the best qualifier, but I know his race pace is just like phenomenal, and I know how relentless he is. And I was like, right, I've got 3.5 seconds. I've got about 8 laps maybe before he's on my rear wing. And yeah, I must admit, as you've just seen my comment in the Discord, I am like a mess at the moment.
Yeah, well, very true. And for those that haven't seen it, Billy said he's sweating and shaking like a right, something I can't say on broadcast. These things are so hard to keep on the island on the limit, and that's true. The cars move around a lot, don't they? They really do. They float from one corner to the next. They never feel completely flat on the floor like a scale electric car, do they?
No, I literally jumped into the car. I think it was Sunday night to get my first sort of bit of practice in with it, and obviously I've been doing a lot of practice with the GT3 around Zolder for another league, and it was a big jump. I was like, oh my god, this is just like on another level. But when you hook it up, it's such a nice car to drive. When you get it right, it's rewarding, but you've got to treat them rear tyres. You've got to massage them really nicely, because you light them up once and you're struggling for about 2 or 3 laps afterwards.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, you have to really baby these cars, don't you? I think you have to properly hold its hand and guide it around the circuit, but it is like a little stroppy brat. It just wants to kick off at you at all times, doesn't it?
That is, Chaz, that is probably the perfect explanation for that car. I'll tell you that right now.
Fair play. Well, I appreciate that. But it was great to watch, Billy. Great to see you with the Altitude boys as well, all really good friends of mine. And obviously, I mean, we've been going through sim racing in sort of crossing paths for years now, It's been great to see. Is there anyone you'd like to give a quick shout out to while I've got you?
Obviously, big shout out to Attitude for having us on board the team, and the team sponsors, Aztec, Frame, Sim Stickers, and obviously my personal sponsor, Lux Sim, still on the car. And obviously, thanks to you guys for broadcasting it and giving us something great to watch back at the end of the night.
Nice one. Thank you very much, Billy. Well done on the win, mate. Fantastic performance. We look forward to seeing you do it again, hopefully.
I'll definitely try. Thanks, bud, and you take care, mate, and see you next time.
Cheers. Nice one. Well, there we go. Billy Fletcher, then, your race winner in the second race of the night. And earlier in the broadcast, someone who I'm not going to name at this point, because he's going to have to go and find out himself, said that it's nice not to see Bart all at the front at the top. No, I'll get this out right. It's nice to see Bart not always at the front. Bart Delman joins me in the box. Bart, you didn't have a livery on the car, but I imagine it'll look nice. That looked like a good laugh tonight, though. You were always in the battles, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I just bought the car today. So
oh, wow.
I didn't know anything. I was like last minute decision, because I was actually not planning on participating, but I was like, yeah, why not, and just have some fun and see what I can do with this car. But it's hard. It's very hard. It's totally different from what I used to. Normally, I'm only driving high downforce cars, so to drive something like this, it's a little bit different, but it was good fun.
Yeah, well, they certainly are. They can be frustrating when you're trying to extract pace out of them, but when you're racing them, when you're just throwing them around the circuit and balancing it on the limit, it can be a really rewarding car to drive, can't it?
Yeah, I think so. I need to get used to it, and it will take some practice. I won't practice as hard, because my goal is the F3, of course, but I want to learn the car and see if I can do a little bit better and be on the pace, because I'm totally not on the pace. I was really, but that's good for you actually, because I'm backing everybody up, so they are close. I have some close racing, so yeah.
You can say that again, mate. It was fantastic fun to watch. I mean, a bit of argy-bargy here and there, but you always get that with a new series. You've got new drivers that aren't used to each other yet, and I mean, it's Zolder. It's an absolute nightmare sometimes, but we love it for that, and it's a big, big challenge. What do you feel about Zandvoort? Because I don't think it's a circuit we've discussed before, but you went well there in Formula 3, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, but it's a different ball game. But I love Zandvoort. Zandvoort is I really love the track and to practice there. So yeah, we'll see. But like you said, yeah, in a new series is always everybody is trying to feel each other out, and there are a lot of fast guys here. It's very, very close. So yeah. We'll see what we're going to do in this series.
Well, I certainly look forward to finding out, Bart. It's been a hell of a lot of fun, mate. And again, thank you very much for having me on. Is there anyone you'd like to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, thank you again for everything, what you're doing behind the scenes, and yeah, that's about it for now.
Well, you are very, very welcome, Bart. It's a pleasure to work with you on all of this. It's great fun, and it's a fantastic community. So thank you, mate. And well, we look forward to seeing you at Zandvoort, mate. Enjoy.
Yeah, thank you. You're amazing, mate. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Much appreciated. Well, I'm blushing. There we go. Bart Delman, everybody. Absolute start. The man himself, the community manager of NEVO. And what a brilliant job he's done of it. So, 2 wins for Altitude Esports on the road. Not quite the second race Callum Reed-Garton wanted, but a brilliant 1-2 for Billy Fletcher and Mark Fletcher. No relation. But they certainly enjoyed themselves out there and put on a real show for us. That is all, though, tonight, I'm afraid, from Zolder. in round 1 of the European Porsche Cup Series here from NEVO. My name is Chaz Draycott. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you the action today. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you next time round at Zandvoort. Good night.
Opportunistic, still rubbing panels as they go together. It's folded the wing mirror in on Gerardo's car.
Misano is such a difficult circuit for these guys to get right. There's a lot of start-stop sections around the back. It's a very, very quick section as well.
It's a fantastic start from the 23. They're 4 wide there by the look of it.